Hello, everybody. I see two people already. I just went live and I've got all these notations here. Let's see, new. Managing moderators can support your channel in even more ways. Introducing managing moderators. These users have the same capabilities as standard moderators, but in addition, they can manage blocked words and change chat modes to live. Okay. Welcome. Hello, everybody. I'm going to turn on some copyright-free music, and hopefully you'll hear it because it's playing from my phone rather than on the laptop. Hi, Steph. Welcome. How are you doing this evening? Yeah, just about the same. You know, I've heard so many people complaining about their targeting. I think they've got to get their kicks in at the year end, right? That's what people are saying. Hi, Karma. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, everybody's saying that. I think all these perpetrators, they know that their time is running. It's coming to an end for some of them. They've got to get their year-end bonuses, their last-minute little bonuses, their last little kicks. Yes, they are filled with rage. They are filled with rage. I picked up a new can of tuna fish tonight. It's on a little table that I have here that I have stacked with cans and food and stuff. And it's brand new. And they crushed the underside of it. And it wasn't like that. So they recently did that. The things that they do inside my house just tells me how angry they are. You know, when you slice something with a knife, when you're denting things, cutting, slicing, damaging people's clothing, imagine going to work and doing that for a living. I mean, you have to be filled with rage and anger. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. I just knocked something down here. Now, this is just a test. Can you hear any music? Can you hear any music coming from my phone? It's just a test because I've tried. Oh, you do? Okay, good. I figured I'd play a little music until people come in, copyright-free music, because I'm going to walk away from the laptop just for a minute to fix a cup of coffee. So I just wanted to make sure that you heard something. what time zone are you guys in? Like it is 10:16 p.m. here in Kentucky. I'm still part of. I still check in on the New Jersey goings on, and they have got a lot of stuff going on there. Besides the fact that they got a lot of snow, thank goodness we didn't have that. I'll be doing some reading from a couple of books, and I have an article. I read it 2 years ago on my channel by Karen Stewart. It's another one, not the one that I just posted earlier. I've got another one that I read 2 years ago, but I'm going to read it again. And then I have a new book of the Civilian Rights Handbook, a civilian's guide to navigating police encounters. So I'll read a couple of pages from there. But I'll wait for some more people to come in. It's Saturday night, and this is the last Saturday Night Light of the year. I cannot believe it's the end of December. Time flies when you're having fun. It's just like been a barrel of fun here the last year. I don't know. It's just been a bit of a nightmare. Like I wished one of my New Jersey friends a Merry Christmas, and I didn't hear back from her. And I just waited a few days, and then I mentioned it again, and she says the targeting has been so horrible. And everybody I speak to is saying the same thing. Oh, good. Oh, good. The sun has been glorious, he said, the weather. Well, it's funny you should say that. We haven't had sun, but it's been milder, like in the 50s and 60s. And my birds are thinking like it's mating season already. They're like chasing each other, doing a little mating dance. And it's like, wait a minute, it's December. You're not supposed to be doing that now. I mean, unless they're going to start laying some eggs, I'll take the eggs. Because this time of the year, they don't lay as many. Like, I'll only get like 2 or 4 eggs a day. They start to slow down. They lay according to the sunshine and the light. And even though, like, we already passed our longest night of the year with the solstice, we haven't had any sun here. It's just been cloudy, overcast. So I'm going to walk away just for 2 minutes to fix my coffee. I see that there are 10 people. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. And I'll be back in like a minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so what did I miss here? Let's see. Karma, what kind of clients do you have? Oh, people have migraines, restlessness, legs ringing in the ears, chills, arrhythmia, palpitations. Well, the economy is horrible. There are so many food recalls. Oh, you're a doctor. Oh my goodness. Good for you. There's probably like a lot of anxiety. Oh, hi, SDO. Let's see, do I got the right one, SDO? Thank you, thank you. Welcome. Happy New Year to everybody. This is the last live of the year. The next one will be in January in 2025. I'm going to have a hard time writing that. I know the sleeping is such a problem. I've never had a problem sleeping before, but I've never been like I've never slept for a long time. Like when people would tell me, "Oh, they sleep 8 or 9 hours a night," I've never done that. um, I think the only time I've slept that long is if I'm not feeling well. Good morning. Hi, Paris. Welcome, welcome. Well, Karma, what do you tell them about the ringing in the ears? I need at least 4 hours of nobody bothering me while I'm sleeping to have a decent sleep. 4 hours is enough. But while I'm sleeping, the tinnitus increases. I've noticed that they have been targeting the back of my throat. I guess they don't like me speaking out. They're telling me by their symbols and signs that they don't want me talking. So they're hitting me in the eyes. Yes, well, thank you, thank you. A peaceful New Year. Well, it's got to be better than this last year. I mean, they've already like stuffed my mailbox with dead animals and thrown poopy diapers. Like, what's next? They've already cut a triangle in my forearm, threw 2 layers of clothing that were not harmed at all. So I've witnessed all the technology that I need that I need to understand for this year. Are you 33 years old? That's cute. Are there other professions here? Hi, John. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. So, oh, that's a good idea. Let's talk about our prior professions, the things that we did in the past for a living. What do we do now? Oh, you're a farmer, a trucker, YouTuber. Cool. Very cool. Well, in my past life, I was a corporate human resources manager. I had my own staffing business. I interviewed people for a living. A professional astrologer and tarot reader. I worked at a title company. I was a personal assistant secretary in New York City. Yes, they do. And they hit me. I have these bumps on my face today. Like, where did they come from? Oh, John Clements, you're a YouTuber? Oh, I've got to go check out your channel. Let me see. You were a mechanical engineer? Oh, cool. A drug testing business. Wow. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in. You love farming. Oh, what did you farm? Yes. So 33 years old is asking, are you 33 years old? Um, have most people here significantly altered their lifestyle and vocation in the last 5 years? Oh, corn, bean, and cattle. John, if you don't mind me asking, what state? And then we'll get back to 33-year-old question. I had a feeling you were going to say Missouri. I had a feel as soon as you said corn and cattle, I had a feeling it was Missouri. I because I have been through Missouri so many times. Well, me, what do I do? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I garden here in New Jersey, and but everything I do here is damaged by these criminals. So I've planted fig trees, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, a peach tree, an apple tree, and an apricot tree. Ground cherries for my birdies. They love the ground cherry. Well, I like the ground cherries also. Last year I planted pumpkin and squash. This year we had a drought, and the local criminals dumped all my water barrels to water my plants. So John says I used to live in Levittown, which is near Trenton, New Jersey. Okay, well I lived in New Jersey. I know where Trenton is. Window design display for several designer shops. Oh, I like that. That's nice. That's a creative job. Yes, they're always dumping out my water. Yes, they have a thing with water. They're trying to flood me out. I found more holes in my property today. I don't know what their problem is, but this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to depreciate the value of the property because I guarantee somebody in this neighborhood wants it. Because when I moved here, 4 people told me that they wanted to buy it and they didn't. Well, if they couldn't afford it in 2019, they certainly can't afford it now. There was no place to live in 2019 here. Hi, welcome, HMM. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. So, for those of you that are coming in now, we're having a discussion about um, where people live, what their profession was, what kind of jobs that they did within the last 5 years. As a targeted person, how your life has been turned upside down. And John Clements was a farmer in Missouri. So SEL says flashlights that strobe and body massagers helping me mitigate the intense burning and vibrating that I'm getting hit with. You know, my friend Helena Chorba would use a massager. She would get hit all the time, and we would be on the phone talking, and they would be hitting her, and she'd have the massager in the place where she was getting hit. And I have strobe lights that I'll turn on in my bedroom. um, and they're pretty. I like them. Well, I hear you, and we should all go back to farming. You were targeted because you're farming. Yes, yes. A lot of farmers are being targeted. A lot of YouTube creators are complaining that some of their crops are not growing. Other people having problems feeding their chickens because some of the bird feed has been tainted and they're not laying. I mean, look at the Amish farmers that were their raw milk was seized. I mean, it's crazy. You know, Amos Miller, an Amish family in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. 33 years old. First of all, let me ask you: Are you 33? Is gang stalking a new phenomenon? No, it is not a new phenomenon. It's not new. It's just becoming. People are becoming much more aware that it's happening, and more people are being stalked and targeted. So Karma says use ice for the legs. I know what I do is when I wake up and my feet are too hot, like they'll be like 98 degrees, I'll go into the shower, the bathtub, and just run cold water over my feet and get them down to at least the 80s. Earthing helps for feet and legs. It does, but what they've done is they've poisoned my soil around here, so I never walk barefoot around my property. Isn't that horrible? I mean, I own all this acreage, and I have never once walked barefoot here. John says mine was more like they tried to destroy my spirit starting the first grade because they're suspicious and jealous of farmers, I think. Okay. Well, that's because you're self-sustaining. You don't need them. When you're a farmer and you're self-sustaining, you don't need them. Okay, so 33 years old. You're not 33 years old. I enjoy researching stage and fake events. The number 30 seems relevant to those, maybe. Well, yeah. 33 is the Freemason. It's a master number. 33. It's a master number. Well, that's very interesting, Karma. I like that. Gang stalking can be anything that fills you with rage because rage is louche for them. That's a very good point. And narcissists, psychopaths, they're addicted to chaos. They're addicted to chaos, and I'm allergic to I'm allergic to chaos. No, I do not come from a Yiddish background, but I will say, and I don't have a problem saying it, I do have a mixed family. Half of my family was Jewish, Russian and Polish, and the other half is Italian, like literally born in Italy and then immigrated here. Like my grandma, my Italian grandma was I'll just call it slave labor. She worked in a sewing factory, learning to speak English. Yes, I listened to Patrick Humphrey. The attack on farmers has been going on for several years now. I think it's actually been going on a lot longer. It's been going on behind the scenes, but it's just been making the news because there are a lot of legal actions now. They're also targeting homesteaders, preppers, anybody that is self sufficient. Yes, they're energy harvesters. They're vampires. That's why eating garlic really does help. They are energy vampires. And they creep in the dark. Like they're creepers on my property. They're just creepers. We all need to start sticking up for our farmers and come to their rescue. I agree. If we don't, we're going to have no food. Karma says, well, a lot of us seem to have Jewish backgrounds. Well, it seems like there are a lot of Christians also. So Henry says, my targeting started in 1998 but stopped in 2005. Do I ever connect gang stalking to the Mandela effect? No, I don't. I never considered it. No. Yeah, growing your own food is really important. I grew a lot more food last year. This year, my chickens like tore a lot of stuff up, and there was just a lot of harassment and stalking. Yeah, the sirens, depending on where you live, you'll hear the EMS trucks, the fire trucks. That's absolutely right, Karma. It's not the belief system, but most of us appear to be free thinkers. You're atheist and you get nailed. Yet the cops and the authorities, well, they're all in on it. This is their secret side hustle. Gang stalking is this their very lucrative side hustle. I have a couple of videos. I have a couple of theories. Okay, I'll answer. I will answer your question. Is it better in rural Kentucky versus New Jersey? I'll answer that. But I just want to say that I think that it has a lot to do with being independent, an independent thinker, not easily swayed, not going along to get along. Um, so there's another question coming up here. Does anyone here have young children, and do they get gang stalked when young children are involved? So there are a lot of questions here. I can answer based upon what I've been told by people that have young children. They do attack young children. They absolutely do. And I know of an autistic child that is being tormented. Like they go into her bedroom and they electronically do the dirty on this poor kid that can hardly speak. It's disgusting. They're disgusting. Oh yeah, the license plates. Oh yeah, I mentioned that on one of my videos. I've got a 732 license plate that speeds down the county road here. 732 is the area code from New Jersey. So it just tells you that's like a little there. That's a little New Jersey hacker. And yes, there are children that get involved in tormenting us. Their parents tell them to do things, and they're too young to really understand what they're doing. They're just thinking, "Oh, well, I'll just go over there and knock on her door." Please remember to hit the thumbs up. I see there are 12 thumbs up and 24 people. Hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. It helps people find our information. They absolutely damaged the property. They're really doing a number on my property. They've damaged all my grass. And what I love is that I have evidence because I've been recording videos of my property now for, I don't know, 4 years. It's all online. I was looking at videos from just under 2 years ago where I'm walking around the entire property, the stream and everything. It looks so different now. And I haven't done anything different. In fact, back then I was cutting my own grass, and now I hired somebody that does a better job. So, yes, they do. They not only employ children against us to do evil things to us, but they also attack children. You see 666 in a lot of license plates. You see your phone number sort of appear in license plates. Probably same type of psychological phenomenon. Thank you, SDL. Yes, yes, please hit the thumbs up. Okay, to answer your question, I'm targeted differently here than in New Jersey. In New Jersey, the houses were close together. So I could literally walk out my front door and see the entire neighborhood, the whole block. If I were to walk to my mailbox in New Jersey and look in one direction and the other, dozens and dozens of houses everywhere. We only each had like a half an acre of land, unless you lived on a corner, and then you had like an acre of land. So the houses were fairly close together. Now in New Jersey, my neighbors didn't really have to stalk me by driving, speeding by me. They didn't have to honk their horns. They would just step out of their house and hide in a shrub. And that's what my neighbor Steve did. He would just hide in a shrub. And then if I were in my backyard, he would run onto my porch in the front, open up my screen door, and throw in my hallway stuff that he stole from my. He would steal my cosmetics from up in my bedroom. Hi, Elsie. Welcome, welcome. And throw them into my hallway. Here, I have neighbors that yell at me, scream at me, dump dead animals on the property. Yes, I had little dead animals in New Jersey. They threw a dead baby rat on my driveway in New Jersey, a dead fish. Like, where would a dead fish come from? Where did a fish come from? Like even in a rural area, like a fish would not like be jumping out of the county creek in front of my house. It would have to be placed there. So yeah, I had little dead things show up in New Jersey. A lot of witchcraft also. The difference is my cats were living with me in the house. So once I locked myself in and I figured out how they were getting in at night, they were not getting in at night anymore. So I was able to secure my house at night when I finally figured out how they were getting in and how to secure myself. So in New Jersey, they were coming in during the day through my garage. They were actually parking in my garage. And they would come in and they would open up a window in the back room and leave it unlocked. Now, this is a window that I never opened. So now here, I've got a really small house. It's so small compared to there. But I have to walk from building to building. So I could be in one building and they could be in and out of my house. The people are more ignorant here, they're more depraved. Um, and I have no problem saying, literally, they're morons. So I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. At least in New Jersey, the CIA operatives that they had living next door to me, I mean, they were definitely Satanists. But at least you can tell that they were, uh, what's the word? I shouldn't say it. Okay, I just can't say it. But also the difference in New Jersey was I lived there for 30 years. So literally everybody on the block knew who I was. It was only the new people that they were moving in around me, the operatives and stuff, that had the new narrative, right? So let me read what you're saying. Does anyone feel that the population has reduced in their communities? The population actually did reduce where I live. I mean, if you could think it get any smaller. Okay, so when I moved here, there were 803 people reported. 803. There were now 793. A lot of them were young people. A lot of them were young people. They all died because of taking the jab, basically. So please remember to hit the thumbs up. You see all strangers I know. Well, even though the local neighbors, the ones that repeatedly harass me, they're still strangers to me. I don't really want to know them. There isn't anything remotely I have in common with them, and they're evil, just evil. Steph is saying, "What do you guys think about that thing that was released? Oh, stating that the population will be reduced by 80% in 2025. Well, I think that they're saying that because they're going to, and I can't really say too much because they too will then just demonetize this. But you hear a lot of things in the news about this new bird flu, and I just heard Patrick Humphrey say that now even some of the cosmetics are tainted. That some people are going blind from eye drops that had a fungus in the eye drops purchased at Costco. Oh, it's horrible here. It's absolutely horrible. And the unfortunate thing is, this is a beautiful property. It really is. It's unique. It's beautiful, and they are destroying it. I know why they're doing it. Oh, they mean us. By population, they mean us. Well, unfortunately, there are some of us that are, even older than me. Um, they're going to, off. I think everybody. Well, I can't say it. If they introduce some new arm candy, something that you have to take, that's going to be a problem. But I received the local newspaper. I received a hard copy of it intentionally, and then one online. It's the same thing. But I always look at the ages of the people who have passed away, because the former owner of this property was 96. And even though, like, when I look at the paper, like a lot of, people in their 80s and 90s are passing, there are still some very young people in their 30s passing away. And a lot of YouTubers I've noticed in their 30s, 20s, and 30s are getting very sick. You see a lot of them on TikTok. But I've got a couple of things to read tonight. I'm trying to see, did I miss any of your questions? Yes, please remember to hit the thumbs up. Well, this is the thing. If they get rid of all of us, karma, all the targeted people, how are they going to make any money? Right? How are they going to? We are their cash cow, right? That's why they try so hard to keep a target where they currently live. Because if I move, let's say, even to another part of Kentucky, like out of this jurisdiction, they're not going to get any pay. Oh, but of course they do share their resources and said they share the resources. But if I move to another state, they're going to have to find another cash cow, somebody else to break into, somebody else to steal from. And I guarantee whomever is going to buy this place is not going to be that person. Yeah, they're making too much money off of us. I mean, unless, of course, if we become too much of a problem, too much of a problem. What are they stealing from me? Okay, so they have stolen recently. Well, they've stolen clothing. They stole a brand new wallet, an iPad, noise deafening earphones, brand new in a box. Um, what else did they steal? Oh, 3 EMF hats, skull caps, um, 2 EMF headbands, a magnetic bracelet, a titanium bracelet, um, a bracelet that my mother bought me. That was when I first moved here. They stole that, brand new. They stole my Chromebook. Oh yeah. Oh, it total set this year over $7,000 in items stolen from me. They've stolen food. They've stolen food out of the refrigerator. They've stolen, like, I had a bag of cocoa. Cocoa is not cheap anymore. They stole that. I bought something from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, this chocolate tea. They stole that from me. Oh yeah, they're going to lose their income. So that's why they go around to all the real estate people that I try to hire and tell them and threaten them, bribe them. No, because what happens is I've contacted my insurance. I hate my insurance company. I've got the worst insurance company. I have a fairly high deductible. And then with all of the items that have been stolen, it has to be a certain amount. It has to be more than $1,000 at a time, not cumulatively, at a time. Jordan Maxwell says that each of us are worth $6 million. Oh well, wow. Oh, they absolutely do. See, there was a while that they couldn't get in here. But then they knock you out, they find your keys, and then they make copies of it. So I've got keys that are not easily replicated. Like, I buy like really good locks, like even padlocks. I spent a lot of money on my locks, but they get them anyway. I have security doors. They've broken all my security doors. So I've got security doors on top of metal doors. Yeah, they knock me out with radio frequencies. If I didn't know how they do it, but they do it to me every day. Every day. Yeah, the iPad. And it's not just the iPad, it's what was on the iPad. Like what was on the iPad. They've stolen magnets from me. The number of glasses they have stolen. Like in New Jersey, they stole my brand new pair, the first pair of eyeglasses that I bought in a long time. They stole those glasses from me. Then I was able to get a replacement, and then I got a pair of prescription sunglasses. As soon as I moved here, they stole my prescription sunglasses right out of my car. They stole all of my prescription. I have zero prescription glasses. I had 4 pair. They stole every one of them. I'd have to pull up my lists because I make a list of everything that they've stolen each year. And again, they steal food, they've stolen vitamins, and some of the things that they steal, this is very bizarre. This has probably happened to you too. Like, I'll get a new jar of, let's say, face cream, brand new. Oh, hi, Joshua. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Joshua. Um, Happy early New Year. And then I'll go to use my face cream and it's all scooped out. Like, I'm not even talking about like a little bit. I'm talking about more than half is scooped out. I bought this very expensive, like this hand cream, this paw cream. You can only buy it from another country. And I used it once or twice. And then the next time I went to use it, it was empty, gone, totally scooped out. They do with all my creams. They done it with essential oils. Oh, they did it with my rosemary spice. I went to use my rosemary spice today, and it was empty. This is what these morons do. And rosemary's not cheap either. you know, I use it sparingly, and it was gone, all gone. So I'm going to read an article. Yes, it does. Rosemary kills fungus, and actually, I sprinkle it in with my chicken feed. Like I'll do like a ferment for my chickens every morning. I mix like a whole bunch of stuff together, and I'll sprinkle some rosemary in it. And I use rosemary in my cooking. And who's tatted Kirby? This sounds more like multiple personality. Okay, well, you know what? Tatted Curvy, I think you're a perp. So we're gonna remove you. Okay, thank you. One more comment like that, Tatted Curvy. You'll be removed completely from the chat. Okay, so I deleted your message for now. But if you leave another comment like that, you'll be banned. You will be blocked. Okay, so I don't welcome perps here. This is a group of people who've been targeted that are on a watch list. Currently, there are more than 4 million innocent people on the list, and it has been proven now through the Institute for Justice, who won a lawsuit against the Pasco County Sheriff on his predictive policing, targeting innocent people, placing them on a list, and it has nothing to do with mental illness. Okay? So, anyway, 33 means nothing to you, but I forgive you. I hope you learn to not see 33 the same way because I think it's great that you're a real doctor. Okay. Well, 33, actually, just remember that I'm really kind. I try to be kind, but I have a Scorpio rising, and I've got Pluto in all the right places, so I can be, I can be like a really nice bitch for if I want to be. I wish my mother were around. She would tell you. I don't. I don't like people who are mean to other people. I'm really going to tear up somebody like that, and that's why. But I'll do it in a fun way. I'll do it in a much fun way, like with Scarlett. My neighbor Scarlett, the poopy nurse, poopynurse.com. But even more so, and like I said, I don't like gossip. But when you're living in a community like this and everybody knows each other and everybody is against me, well, I'm going to find out the best possible gossip and use it against them. Like Scarlett is a whore. Yeah, she's a whore. Yeah, she was having an affair with a pastor or minister or whatever. I don't know. Yes, a scarlet fever. Yes, yes. Well, no, she's also a liar because she keeps saying for 5 years now that the sheriff is her son-in-law. And when he was a deputy, oh, that's my son-in-law. It's not her son-in-law. But she's saying that because she wants to be related to somebody who has a position of authority because she doesn't have one in of herself. Scarlet the poopy harlot. That's very funny. It's very funny. Yeah, and I call my other neighbors the jerky perkies. Yes, the jerky perkies. But anyway, yes, and you know what? You can report your perps to the FBI. Even though the FBI is all in on it, you can still report them to the FBI, even if they do nothing. Because you never know. You never know what they know about these people that we're complaining about. Just remember that these people, like at least the ones around here, you think they're angels? You think that before I moved here that they did nothing wrong? I don't think so. I definitely don't believe that's true. Yeah, a clout chaser. That's very yes, that's a good point. A clout chaser. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so what happens is, and I'm going to read an article by Karen Stewart, another one. Like I posted a video earlier about fusion centers written by Karen Stewart, 2019. Now I've got another article written by her. Let's see, targeting seems to have grown exponentially as more people come forward. Absolutely. Well, not only are more people coming forward, but whistleblowers are coming forward. I mean, it's huge when you've got 3 FBI whistleblowers talking about being asked to place innocent people on the list with no due process. And the same thing with that Pasco County sheriff. And you think he's an isolated case, that sheriff? Not a chance. Every sheriff in this country, well, I'm going to say, not going to say every, but I'm going to say most of the sheriffs in this country are all in it. It's turned into a police state. It's a thin blue line cult, CULT. And as a cult, they all stick together and they're in it for the money. A lot of these police auditors on YouTube are providing such evidence of the corruption of what cops do, that they steal from their victims. They threaten their victims. They have unalived people in custody. And I really think it has to do with one, the sadistic pleasure in a lot of these young people and regardless of them being police officers. But I would imagine that people who are that insecure are drawn to professions where they can hide behind some position of authority so that they can inflict and entertain their sadistic pleasures. A lot of the really good cops have admitted that they can't take it anymore and they're leaving. They're leaving. They're leaving the police force. They're doing other things. So anyway, FBI whistleblower Stephen Friend wrote a book, True Blue, and he said that he was being asked to target people for no reason at all, just to bloat the watch list and get grants, money. It's all about the money. It's not just the money though. It's about revenge for some people. Very people in a very high position may say, "Yeah, Tad Kirby enjoys trolling." Exactly. Well, what that person is doing, what that person is doing is interrupting the flow by asking a question that a targeted people, nobody in our chat would be answering. Okay, because it's been stated so many times. The reasons why people are targeted: revenge, asset stripping, whistleblower, know something they shouldn't know, pissed somebody off, disagreed with somebody, divorced the cop. Yes, revenge for hire private security contractors. I believe that I'm in that program. That's the program I'm in. The revenge for hire private security. That's I actually think that there are two overlapping ones because I believe that there were a bunch of celebrities that I became involved with. Can't say who. I won't say who they are, although I could care less at this point. Um, but as a professional astrologer, became involved with a bunch of celebrities that you would know, and they treat towards the end they acted. Their behavior became like that of gang stalkers, but I didn't know what that was. So, the gaslighting, the stonewalling, um, pretending, like signing on with different email addresses, pretending that there's somebody that they're not, um, like catching them in little quirky things. Um, so I believe it had to do with my divorce, the feral cat cartel, definitely. And I believe that there are three overlapping situations for me. So I believe I was nominated more than once. Well, see, yeah, well, that's what they said. Multiple personality disorder, first of all. In an MK Ultra program, if you grow up in an MK Ultra family, like a satanic family, they deliberately attempt to fracture the mind before the age of 7. Why 7, you ask? 7 is Saturn, it's Satan. There's cycles in astrology. And make no mistake that these people know astrology. They know the occult. I've never said I have blackout moments, tatted Kirby. And my cameras are hacked, and I could prove it. And actually, hi, Lizard Hunter. Yes, yes. What happens is that in MK Ultra programming, and they do this to celebrities, they do it to children, and the military are really good at doing this. They like to fracture the mind. And this happens with repeated abuse. In order for the psyche to deal with the horrors, they will disassociate from their body. And it has been stated that many young girls who have experienced, I'm not going to say it, will hover over their body and watch as an observer, removed from the actual act, in order to deal with the pain and the horror and everything. Yes, the Wi-Fi jammers. Well, I'm going to say that this tattered curvy, it could be one of those cyber stalkers. The gorilla type. If you're familiar with the gorilla type. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and I will too. Let's see. Let me find that creature. um, yes, the directed energy weapons know that you're targeted. I started knowing, seeing some really weird things happen to my body that are not normal for me. It started in New Jersey, and then here it just continued. It got worse. But I will say, for yeah, that gorilla type, right? Well, if you're curious, Tattered Kirby, I have over 2,000 videos, and many of which are in playlists. In fact, I have a playlist. I have one called Corrupt Cops. I've got one called Targeted and Stalking. I've got one called Evidence, right? So I've got one Question and Answers. So if you really want to learn about this topic, I suggest that you watch some of those videos, because this is a horrible, horrible program that has been going on for decades. I know a targeted person, he's in his 80s. Yeah, I hope it's not that gorilla. I hope it's not the gorilla, that primate. um, but I know a targeted guy in his 80s, and this has been going on for him for 50 years. Yeah, that's right. Only targeted people know know what I mean by that. Well, that's okay. Do you ever remember like Magilla Gorilla? Oh, hi Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. Well, that's so interesting that you say that. That you noticed that the floor in your bathroom was electrified. What, from high EMF? This is what I've noticed. They've done something underneath my bathtub, because a lot of times, like I'll go in there, for my Epsom salt bath, and exactly, Joshua. But I've noticed that my feet are vibrating when I leave the bathtub, which should not be happening. So I believe that they've done something underneath my bathtub. But there's so many reasons to be for people to be targeted. From what I understand, anybody that voted for the Trumpster could be on the list. Anybody who was there on January 6th is on the list. If you're a farmer, if you're a homesteader, if you're a prepper, you too will be on the list. Oh, if you love animals and you fight for animal rights, you will be on the list. And guess who's on the list? PETA. Yeah, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's why you don't hear much from them anymore. They're not going in and against the farm practices anymore. They're laying low, but they know what's going on. Oh, I was thinking about doing that actually, Steph. I was thinking about us all doing like a burning bowl ceremony. So we could write down, like, I could take information from you guys and say, what do you want to get rid of during the year? I could write it down on a piece of paper and then I can burn it here. I've got my little bowl here with my sage. Oh, is that right? COINTELPRO was used heavily in the Black Panthers. They also implanted the ghetto informant. That's exactly right, Joshua. I mean, I don't mind answering questions. I really don't. I don't mind answering questions about targeting. I mean, especially there are a lot of new people. There are a lot of new targeted people, and they want to know. But when somebody comes into the chat and starts talking about mental illness, I know they're a perp. Okay, I won't tolerate that kind of disruption here. Well, you know what else? You know who else they're targeting? Um, the child, the kiddo thing. You know, how do I say it? You know, the kiddos, the little people. What's happening to the little people? People who are researching that. I noticed that they disappeared from YouTube and TikTok. Um, they were being, yes, microwave weapons were used in World War II. They were. So they know everything that they need to know about the effects of radiation. They don't need to repeat it. So so this is no longer about research, okay? So now what they're doing is they're performing that research all over again on targeted people, but now they're doing it where they can watch us differently. They can see our internal processes. See, back in World War II, they didn't have the kind of technology to know what was going on inside of the person. Yeah, I don't like that guy, oh bummer. Oh bummer. Yeah, I don't like Lorraine. They have targeted the sea shepherds. They've targeted animals. I mean, it's horrible. Just everything. And these are psychopaths. They think it's fun. It's a game. It's a game for these people. But yes, I will definitely consider the New Year's Eve thing, which is actually in a couple of days. You'll buy the popcorn. I ran out of popcorn. Well, actually, I do have it. I just I don't have it made. I would have to stir fry it. They always hit you. Cheryl says they always hit me with the microwave when I first wake up. It's just to let me know that they know I just woke up. They're probably not fully human anymore. I mean, come on, look at Mark Zuckerberg. Does he look human anymore? I don't know. He just doesn't look human. He doesn't look the same. He doesn't look like the same person. Well, yeah, 20 years ago, the technology wasn't disseminated to all of these police departments the way they are now. Yeah, I don't. I did not vote for Obama. I don't like him. He's evil. I don't know. He's just so evil. Okay, so someone in a forum said that we're targeted for something you guys did a long time ago, maybe Atlantis or before. Well, are you saying like in our past life? in a past life. Is that what you're saying? Okay, so HM is saying, Henry's saying, do I think the new administration will change anything? I think the new administration is going to is going to get rid of people, some high level people. And I think that the people that he's bringing in, I think they're all targeted. I think everybody he is bringing in is a targeted person. They know what it's like, but they're at a different level of targeting because they all have lawyers and lots of money to protect themselves. Yestiel says, I have no idea why I'm targeted. You could be targeted for something your parents did, right? I mean, I don't know. I believe that my father was targeted. He worked at IBM in the International Research Department. They stole his ideas. And IBM is renowned. IBM is renowned for inventing unique things to harm people. Yeah, so I do think that Elon Musk and Vivek I don't know, Ramaswamy, they're now on this Department of Government Efficiency. So they're now going to be responsible for cutting the corners. So I really feel like we all need to write into them to tell them that we know exactly where they can cut the budget. We don't need 80 fusion centers. And according to Karen Stewart's article, we don't need any of them. They're illegally surveilling and targeting people. So I think that writing to Elon with that suggestion, like if he gets enough of those suggestions, he'll look into it. He wants to make money. And the fusion centers are not making money. Oh, that's interesting. Cheryl, that's so interesting. See, now I look into my family history, and it's possible that, families are targeted. I definitely think that my father was. I definitely think that his second wife, my stepmother, was because they gave her brain cancer and then she went blind. And she was perfectly healthy before that, but she also worked at IBM. She was a secretary there. That's how my father and she met, at IBM. So I want to read this article. Now, I've read this article before, 2 years ago. It's by Karen Stewart. It's called How Is This Surveillance? Oh, that's interesting, Karma. Karma says, my father was recruited into intelligence. I think he declined. Maybe that's why I'm blackballed since birth. Yeah, I love that. Amazon. A Mason. I will never look at Amazon again the same. Well, I'm going to say, like, just because I know astrology, and I know that these criminals do too, that I believe that they follow everybody's birth chart. They know the date, time, and place of everybody that's ever been born. And they know a person's destiny from their birth chart. So while they may not be stalking everybody from birth, I think that they're aware of the potential of everybody from birth. So Karen Stewart says, and now let me see the date of this article, June 6, 2021. How is this quote unquote surveillance? FBI fusion centers claim they are, quote, surveilling potential threats to U.S. Homeland Security. So they need ever increasing budgets and growth, but no accountability. Fusion centers throw people onto the watch list with no due process, no evidence or fact verification, no witness validation, only vague accusations equaling a wink and a nod from people who have power and influence, but also have an agenda. Every new person on the list is more money for the fusion centers and their business partners and civilian operatives, those mercenaries. The main fusion center is then tasked with fabricating a false dossier to make it appear that there may be a reason for concern. This is why people accused secretly cannot be told or allowed to challenge the fusion center lies. This fairy tale called a quote suspicious activity report unquote SAR is tailored to pass muster with the lax FISA court, which then rubber stamps the surveillance warrant request with less than a critical requirement for credibility. Civilian mercenaries are then engaged 24/7 surveillance that involves active, overt, and covert harassment, which can vary from amazingly petty to criminally vicious or even dangerously psychopathic. And then she writes a letter here. Dear authorities, please explain how the following activity is legal surveillance, which implies watching someone to see if their behavior warrants an actual law enforcement investigation in regard to crimes they may be committing. And in addition, how such quote unquote surveillance can be renewed and continued for years or even decades with no evidence at all of wrongdoing by a target intrusively harassed and even provoked 24/7? Also, please explain how random, non law enforcement civilians can break any law and wield covert weapons in war against innocent, unarmed non combatants with supposed impunity to victimize, torture, unalive the target while getting paid under the table gift cards of laundered tax money with no criminal infraction by their victim can be identified. Surveillance activity? Assigning rotating teams of civilians to overtly stalk and hinder a target 24/7 in everything he or she tries to do in everyday life? It rather alerts them to the quote unquote surveillance, doesn't it? Now, according to my research on surveillance versus stalking, once the target is aware that they're being stalked, but surveilled, it's now considered to be stalking, right? So these people are stalking us. Don't use the stupid terminology that we're just being surveilled, right? Surrounding and blocking a target with multiple drivers to intimidate, interfere with free travel, arrange car accidents to injure or at least cause the target financial damage, devaluation of his property, and increase his insurance bill. Also, the need for body work is used to incorporate GPS devices into the body of the car forever, as well as sabotage, damage the car in other ways. Constant vandalism of a car, paint scratches, slit tires, slit upholstery, broken headlights, broken windows, rewiring a car to give off dirty electricity to harm the target's health, demanding keys from the dealership to constantly access the interior of the car for mischief or worse, stealing good tires to replace with dangerously decayed, tampering with brakes, loosening wheels, etc., causing financial and health damage and endangerment. Is that surveillance? Placing damaging or dangerous substances in the gas tank. Fusion Center mercenaries spreading rumors among family, friends, neighbors, employers, PTA, church groups, service groups, social groups, local retailers, medical community, local law enforcement, blue collar workers, etc. That the target is a prostitute, a pedo, has aberrant sexual appetites, is a wife beater, a drug dealer, dangerously mentally ill, a cross-dresser, convicted felon, someone that they just know is a horrible person or criminal, but somehow we just can't seem to find the minimum of evidence. And just for YouTube, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I'm reading an article. How about the constant harassment, injury, torture, theft, murder of pets to run up financial debt and inflict emotional devastation to the target? For example, a California woman reported uh, uh, the leg cut off her gray parrot, necessitating her having to get to put him down, and another found the dog was hanged. Well, I will tell you what they did to my canary in New Jersey. They broke his neck. And you know what they did to my chinchilla? They suffocated my chinchilla. And they gave two of my cats cancer, one of the nose and one of the throat. And they were young and they were healthy. They actually had vet appointments like a month before and they were fine. And then, of course, here in Kentucky, they have unalived 28 of my rescue cats that I paid for to relocate here to Kentucky. I'm just going to go into in the chat now, and I'll come back to reading this. I just want to see what you guys are saying. But yes, Karen Stewart was very brave to call them out directly. Karen worked there for I think 28 years, 28 years as an NSA intelligence analyst. She was multilingual, very well spoken. She's been interviewed, across many channels. Let's see, what else? Elsie says, I'm sorry for your loss of a loved one. This group has more than their share of heartaches. They like to act. They let the air out of your tires. They've caused a lot of suffering. They're not human. They're deranged. The saddest part for me was that I was going through all of these strange things for several years, but had no idea what was happening until the weapons began in November 2022, SDL says. Karma says, yep, tires, drained fluid, damaged walls, pets, kids, anything that they can. Dick Parker says, yeah, you're fucky. Well, the unfortunate thing is, when I was house searching, I looked so forward to flying to Kentucky. I loved it. And Kentucky is actually beautiful. Like when you fly into Lexington, it is a beautiful little airport. It's beautiful overhead. You see all the horse farms, the land, the gardens, the farms. Kentucky is very pretty, and you could get a lot for your money here as far as land. You can buy a lot of land here. You can have farm animals. There are no restrictions. There are a lot of good things about Kentucky. In fact, there are a lot of people that retire here from other states. And the former owner of my property moved from Ohio, where he worked at General Motors. When he retired, he came back here to retire. A lot of people retire here because it's lovely. It really is lovely. But some of the neighbors totally suck. And even if I were not a targeted person, all of my neighbors suck. They're just disgusting. I would want nothing to do with them. They're liars, they're low class, they're jealous, they're envious, and they're losers. And they're just evil. They're always conniving. And I heard that there was a person who told me this. I haven't been able to validate it or whatever, but the Scarlet, her brother-in-law was involved with a county lawyer in stealing a house that was going to be passed down to someone else. That literally what they did was they decided after this woman passed away, she had a will, she had money, it was going to go to her nephew or whatever, that they were just going to lock up the nephew for not paying child support. They're just going to put him in the county jail. And while he was there, detained, they went into this person's house, the one who passed away, stole the will, stole all the money, and transferred everything into somebody else's name while this guy's in jail. Yeah. Joshua says, on paper, Kentucky looks rather nice. Do you think you would be happier if you had met someone special there in Kentucky, Lorraine? Well, before I moved here, I knew that I was going to meet somebody here, and actually I did. And they got to that person really quickly. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about it, but they got to that person very quickly. Uh, yeah, it's someone's manacle game. There were several reasons I chose Kentucky, and it's very pretty. It really is, and there, aside from here, like I was not looking to move to this location. I was looking to move somewhere else, another area. It's a little more pricey there. It would have been less land, a little. The property tax would have been a little bit higher. But there are a lot of nice places to live in Kentucky, and I wanted a place that was. I looked for strategic relocation. Okay, there are not a lot of places left in the U.S. to strategically relocate for safety. Um, oh, you're absolutely right. I've said it many, many times before. Oh, this is my brother. 1 second. One second. Um, yeah, there are not a lot of places to strategically relocate. But if I were in a relationship, I would not have half of what's happening to me here. If I had a guy around, I mean, let's say it was one of my ex boyfriends. Honestly, if what they're doing to me happened to me with some of the guys that I dated in the past, I would have a lot of dead neighbors. I'll tell you right now, they would be gone. They would be gone. Oh, tatted curvy, what are you saying? Making a statement about someone without proof to defame them is slander. I know exactly what slander is. I also know what gossip is. I also know that there's a lot of gossip about me that's not true. They do send us honeypots, yes. So what are you saying, tatted curvy? Why? Because I told a story that was told to me. Yeah, that was a story that was told to me by somebody that actually worked here. Yeah, there are a lot of people that can't stand our local government. They despise the local government, but people around here don't speak up. They don't speak up. That's why it took somebody coming from New Jersey to speak up around here, because everybody goes along to get along. They didn't even have a Facebook page until I moved here. They didn't have one, right? So the people around here do nothing. Oh, yeah, they've been here so long. Oh, they do everything to protect the community. They're all friggin' losers around here. They're all losers around here. Well, that's not true, tatted Kirby. If somebody told me something and I'm repeating it, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I heard somebody that worked for me told me his personal story. And I said before that I don't know if it's true. I wasn't able to validate it. I'm telling the story that was told to me by somebody that lived it. Okay? Somebody that lived it. Okay? If your man is a TI, it's twice the attack. Well, I don't know. David Atkinson. He's with oh, I'm forgetting her name, Holly, and they're both targeted. So now I don't know. I never asked him if she was targeted before they met or if she became targeted because of him. I don't know. A safe in West Virginia, I'm pretty sure. 7 years of it, okay. Thank God. God bless everyone going through this BS. Yeah, it's horrible. Yes, the gorilla. You know why? I know that gorilla boy. I know gorilla boy. And also, you know what? I think what I'm going to do from now on, because most of the people in the chat are subscribers, I think what I'm going to do is when I go live again, it will be for subscribers only. And so that it gives you this little time frame in between where you have to become a subscriber to get into the chat. So anyway, most targeted people already have a slander campaign against them. Like, so for instance, the slander campaign against me here, at least one of them is that I don't pay people. Eddie Marks actually walked up to my worker and got him to not do the work that he was hired to do, that he was contracted to do. So instead, what he did was he dug a path from my neighbor's house through the back of my property. Yeah, without my permission. Let's see. How is let me see. What's this state that how is Grand Rapids, Michigan? Anybody live in Michigan? Oh, Holly was targeted. Okay, I wasn't sure. Toledo, Ohio, big mistake. You know, a lot of people from Ohio are moving to Kentucky. Oh, you want to hear something weird? This is so weird. You know, I've mentioned to you guys that my neighbor, who I've never met, like where I'm sitting now, to the left of me, out my window here, I always see this big bright light. It was installed after I moved here, shining in my back window. It's suddenly not working anymore. It's gone. Well, this is what I heard about Kentucky. There's a truck driver who's sometimes in the chat. He says that whenever he drives through Kentucky, and he's targeted, whenever he drives through Kentucky, his targeting increases in Kentucky. I think this is what I think. I think part of it is because everybody in Kentucky here has pew pews, but they don't only have that. They have other kinds of things that they use, like that they could use from a distance. You know, like my one of my rescue friends south of here, her cat was not feeling well. She brings her cat into the vet, and the cat, it must have been her neighbor. Her cat was filled with BBs, somebody was using her cat as target practice with a BB gun. So I think what it is there are certain communities, and Western Kentucky, like, is probably better than Eastern Kentucky. Because I'm in the Appalachian area, I'm near the mountains. Near a forest. I'm on the edge of a national forest. So I think there would probably be other places in Kentucky that wouldn't be as bad. And I think sometimes if you live around areas where there's a university, there's people coming and going, and you've got a lot more educated people. Um, well, first of all, when I was going to have a security light installed here, one of those high ones that my neighbor has that just stopped working, there are two different kinds. There's one that is a very bright white light and one that's like a yellow light, and I forget what they're called. The yellow light is better, it doesn't harm the environment, but the bright white light is very harmful, and it's very harmful to bats and birds. It affects the central nervous system and the eyes, their radar. It affects their radar. Yes, yes. Well, and I also heard that one of my subscribers moved to another country, and they moved to a country where he doesn't speak the language. And he said his targeting almost completely stopped there because the quote unquote the stalkers, they speak a different language. I mean, he's still harassed there. He's still targeted with the satellite weapons and stuff. But the boots on the ground, he's not getting so much there because they speak a different language. So let's see. Karen Stewart goes on to say, let's see, home intrusions vary from above pet harm to theft of not only valuables, but theft or destruction of very personal and irreplaceable items such as family photos, awards, gifts, urns, paperwork, necessary documents, to wanton vandalism or theft of home decorations or furniture, slashing of clothing, theft of clothing or home items, sometimes returned, but often not random rearrangement of home items merely to show that someone was here. It's especially concerning to pet owners who often find their pets have been terrorized, at least while the target was away. Targets with storage units also report constant pilfering of items from locked units as well. As I said, no lock keeps out these roaches, as the FBI fusion centers employ expert locksmiths. When a target replaces a door lock, locksmiths are told by fusion centers to make the fusion center a third key, especially if it's a supposed pick proof lock, like the ones that I've purchased. They are alerted to this activity by intercepting phone calls and emails. Constant hacking into computers, tablets, smartphones, erasure of emails, erasure of contact information, erasure of photographic or video proof of harassment, proof nullification, or personal photos, theft of damage to, and the destruction of such electronics, hacking into bank accounts for embezzlement purposes, wreaking havoc with important records that are changed or disappear, service denial by blocking, jamming signals to hinder cripple targets' ability to make appointments, speak to officials, call friends, call family, or even block their ability to call 911. Phone calls are intercepted and used to cancel appointments or send operatives to the person or company whose services are engaged to infiltrate the service to the detriment of the target, such as rewiring a new refrigerator or washer to give off dirty electricity. Lawyers are even forbidden to take cases or are encouraged to take the money and then sabotage the efforts undertaken for the target, effectively leaving them without representation or legal recourses. Judges have also been reportedly instructed to defy legal precedent and rule against targets who are clearly the victims of others. So that happened to me here when I took my sorry ass neighbors, John and Mary Perky, to court to get a restraining order. I provided evidence, video, video footage of them tearing down my gate, threatening my eyewitness with his 15-year-old son standing there. And the judge said no. And they still owe me more than $600 for my gate. And before I leave Kentucky, I'll be getting that money back. Don't worry. Police have been ordered to purposely deny the target the ability to file a report. Or they're told to say the victim is the perpetrator and the perpetrator is the victim, and are given lists of targets whom the police are not allowed to give equal protection to under the law. Medical personnel have been caught substituting other people's test results, such as x-rays, for the target to mislead them into thinking there is damage when none, or vice versa, to keep them from getting appropriate care. Doctors have been pressured to write up physical injury by normal means or specially directed energy weapons, such as the second and third degree whole body burns received over the target's home, as a delusional to cover up felony assaults by Fusion Center operatives and further damage the target's credibility. Fusion Center operatives have indeed driven targets to joblessness, homelessness, and even delight in sabotaging efforts by targets who may be relegated to living in their cars, to even get food delivery jobs by speaking with employers to blackball them. The number of people ruined and forced to starve, die of untreated disease or injury, wrongfully committed, wrongfully incarcerated, is inestimable at this point. And this is 2021, she wrote this. Now add to the mix the number of mental facilities and prisons the DHS-related entities have investment interests in. And then you'll ask yourself if the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, FBI fusion centers are not just shanghaiing innocent people into servitude and bondage for profit on many levels as possible. Is this not the federal government cannibalizing its own, eating its young? No charges are ever pressed against these targets because there's no evidence of crime on their part. The exception is if an act of self-defense is perjured by paid false witnesses and or co-opted cops into an unprovoked assault, no doubt called predictive pre-crime win. Friends or family offering the target refuge have often met with improbable disaster or even sudden death. Family members and even friends are injured by 24/7 directed energy attacks as well. The fusion centers simply do not care about collateral damage. And that's why I believe that we need to write to Elon and Vivek. We need to offer them some suggestions on how to cut the budget. And I think we could start with the fusion centers. So let me just read what you're saying here. Karma says I had perps next door every place I lived, even hotels. If you don't react, they move. Karma gets them. Fred says obviously either they are instructed by Infraguard to damage neighbors' property. Oh yeah, they're parasites, uh, demons. They tried stalking me after they drove to my house, and I was playing dumb because I knew it was a skit. They wrote a number on the inside of my door jamb when I was out shopping. Came back, opened the door, and noticed the number written in silver marker. Oh yeah, they drew a pink letter V on one of my cat's scratch posts after they removed all the scratch material. You know, this it's called stizzle. They cut it all off and then they drew the letter V. Oh, must be victory, vendetta, whatever, vengeance. Yeah, they have to write it so they can see it. Yeah, they have to take credit for their work. You know, these are narcissists. They want you to know that they were here. They want to take credit for their work, and they're angry. That's why they scrape, dent. You know, they knock things off. They're angry people. And you notice that after I stop reading, or while I'm reading the article, that creature in the chat disappears. It's only when I start talking about the local people that they chime in. Yeah, the cops are bad. I think it is a good idea to inform Elon. I think that we could do it on Twitter, X. In fact, we could do it with both of them. They're setting up committees, and since Elon, Vivek, Vivek, Tulsi Gabbard, they're all targeted people. Trump is targeted. These are all targeted people that are going to be in very important positions. And we our government spends way too much money. Way too much money. And there are so many ways that they can cut the costs. And the fusion centers are definitely one of those places. I'm sure there are many others. I mean, I'm not into politics, so I don't know, all the ways that they need to cut the budget, but definitely fusion centers is one of them. Oh yeah, I know you do. I know that you document everything. You have a profile on X. I don't have like a regular profile on X. I just have my cat rescue. So I follow people, but I don't post targeted stuff on my Twitter. Yes, I've thought about that too. V could be a reference to a woman's anatomy. Well, yeah, I am. I am. At least they're not drawing penises. I'd be really insulted if they started drawing penises because I'm like obviously not a man. But yeah, I am a female. I am definitely a female. Are they trying to tell me that I'm a female? Okay, yeah, I'm a female. Yeah, V stands for their vampire underlords. Well, V can be for vendetta. You know how the Freemasons, they love their vendettas. It could be for vengeance, vendetta. It could be for a vagina. It could be, uh, I don't know, vampire. They are vampires. um, if you hear like a humming, if you hear some kind of a humming, it's because my laptop is old, and my laptop fan is broken. So actually, my laptop is pretty hot right now. I've got like a little tiny fan that I have plugged in facing my laptop. But I also I don't hear that weird man's voice. But I don't usually hear it until I play the video back. When I play the chat back, there's a weird, yes, it's a demon man's voice. It's there. I don't hear it, but I'll hear it when I play this back. I really wish Look Out for Charlie. I told him that I have a weird man's voice on my chat. I wish he could listen to it. Well, I could take my neighbors to small claims court, but I wonder if the judge is just going to say no. Because they're all in on it. But at least I would make a public record. Yes, they do. Yes, they drew. They did. Yes, Joshua, they do. They did it in New Jersey too. And you know what else they did in New Jersey? And I've got a photo. I've got a photo of it. I had this gorgeous camellia shrub, just beautiful, beautiful flowers right in front of my house at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey. Like as soon as I walk out my front door, it was to the right. They were cutting off branches, knocking off the flowers and stuff. But what they did, oh, you hear that voice again? Yeah, what they did was they would cut off one of the tree limbs, very thin, and then they would puncture a hole in the base, and then they would stick the branch in, like symbolizing like intercourse. And they did that in several trees and anatomy in different places all over. They threw pussy willows in my backyard. Yeah, pussy willows. And my neighbor. So I think one of the narrative was because my neighbor, my long term neighbor, who rerouted water onto my property, and they like to do this water thing. My microphone can be picking up on their V2K. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they really love to go after your landscape. Landscaping adds value to a property, and they hate life. And it really bothers me. Not, I mean, it bothers me that they're killing life, right? They're killing the trees. It's horrible. Um, but yeah, so they were throwing pussy willows, and my neighbor, my long term neighbor, Andy and Chris, who ended up moving to Delaware, and they sold to perps. So they must have been contacted because one day I'm outside and my neighbor Andy turned to me and called me a skinny little whore. I called up my mother. I said, "Mom, you're not going to believe this." I said, "Andy called me a skinny little whore." And she said, "What?" She said, "Why would he do that?" She says, "Andy?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Andy called me a skinny little whore." So evidently that was the slander campaign going around uh, on my blog. I was a skinny little whore. They were throwing pussy willows on my property, uh, doing vaginas and penises and stuff like that in New Jersey. But here, they're doing other things, like they're throwing trash on the property. Because really, it's a projection of who they are. Hi, Phoenix. Welcome, welcome. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. Um, do you hear some weird man speaking in the background? Some like grumbly demonic voice? I don't hear it, but when I play the chat back, yeah, like high school boys. But let me tell you, when I was in high school, the boys did not act like that. But I'm older, but Like the boys did not do that kind of nasty stuff. They didn't do that nasty kind of stuff. Karma says another neighbor's car, a Tesla, drove itself towards my bedroom window and almost crushed me in my sleep. Oh my goodness, that's pretty bad. Oh, you hear that now? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Tatinchet. Oh my good. That's so. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. Three separate houses when I almost crushed in my sleep. Oh my god. Sleeping around concrete. You know, it would be a great house to be in. One of those earth houses. Oh, you do hear that demonic voice? Or a dome. Have you ever seen those dome homes? They're circular, sort of like it's like a yurt, but yurts are not all that stable. That's why is that's why your name is Karma. Karma protects me every time. It's fascinating. You know those Earth ships? I love those. I want one. Actually, there's a targeted woman who's building one for herself. I just stumbled across her channel. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, she's building an Earth ship. I love those. They're easier to build in a drier climate. I don't have a basement, unfortunately. My next house has to have a basement. Oh, I love those Earth ships. Um, Earth ships are amazing. They are so work intensive, but they are so amazing. My mic, my laptop is old and my laptop is very hot. Like I feel it. I don't have a working fan in my laptop, even though I bought one to replace it. I looked on YouTube to see how to replace the fan, and it took the guy 45 minutes, and he knew what he was doing. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to open up my laptop. I won't be able to put it back together again. So I just have like this little hand fan that's in back of my laptop now. Yeah, they like to play with the gas. They unscrewed my propane tank. Exactly. Kalki D, exactly. I just have to find the time, and you know what it is? They create so much chaos for me here, and I'm already busy. It takes a lot of time to take care of all these animals and clean the coops, which these criminals filthy. They make them dirtier than they need to be. Like literally, like 4 hours of my day goes to animals, and and then I have to cook and clean and take care of myself. And but I want to do it. Oh, a laptop cooling pad. A laptop cooling pad. What I did buy is I bought what is this, like a stand? I bought a laptop stand so that now the laptop is elevated so that there's air running underneath it. But it's still I still feel it's hot. Yeah, the firefighters are that definitely skits. Definitely. I don't know if you can sue a court. But yes, I have three neighbors that need to be sued. I should say three. Yeah, three neighbors need to get sued. One is a family of two people, another is a family of two people, and one is a family of one person. Um, let's see. I'll read a little bit more of this article because I think it's almost finished. Okay, back to Karen Stewart's article. Friends or family offering to target refuge have often met with improbable disaster or even sudden death, like what they did to my mother. Family members and even friends are injured by 24/7 directed energy attacks as well. The fusion centers simply do not care about collateral damage. Note, these crimes are more, they're done 24/7 to suspects supposedly under quote unquote surveillance. Surveillance is technically done covertly to see if any evidence exists to satisfy legal criteria to open a real criminal investigation. But this perversion of surveillance is done as a ruse to war on an innocent person by hundreds of mercenaries assigned to each target who have been given sophisticated weapons of war to use on innocent, unarmed non combatants. This is brazen criminal harassment and criminal provocation to try to punish people without proof of any crime, nor give them any ability to prove themselves innocent in the apparent total disregard of a legal system founded on proving a person guilty before they're punished, and to provoke people into acting out in self defense against these protected class of criminals viciously ganging up on them 24/7 and causing immeasurable emotional stress and daily trauma, as well as ever increasing financial damage and ruin. Weaponry is also strongest throughout the night to disrupt sleep and more quickly hasten the target's health, destruction, and death. All of the above thoroughly unprofessional, terroristic behavior by the US government in bold print is in addition to aiming directed energy weapons such as microwave weapons at the target, often 24/7, to permanently, big bold print again, damage their health as well as torture and unalive them even before any wrongdoing has ever been established at all. Again, I ask you, how is this surveillance? How is this compatible with our Constitution and due process of law? How is this compatible with innocent until proven guilty? How is this compatible with basic moral values and decency as well as common sense? How is this protecting America? I have gleaned this information not only from my personal experience as wrongfully targeted individual by the DHS fusion centers for the last several years after my NSA employer had me targeted for legitimately reporting wrongdoing on the part of management indicating espionage, but also from about 3,000 other targets for no good reason through my social media accounts who found me from previous articles and interviews. And this is but the tip of the iceberg as to what our tax dollars are being misused for. Miscreants and thugs are becoming a thriving middle class paid astonishingly well, even more than many studied professionals, to eradicate decent human beings from our society in the name of Homeland Security. At some point, you will indeed face becoming one or the other, prey or predator. If people do not wake up and demand this fraud, DHS FBI fusion centers be defunded immediately, thoroughly investigated, audited, and the seditionist, criminal, domestic terrorist death cult be brought to justice and then eradicated from our country with stringent reformation and laws that stop this type of police state coup attempt forever. We were the beta test. You are next. Karen M. Stewart, intelligence analyst, retired National Security Agency. There you go. I think this would be a good article to send to Elon. What do you think? You think we should send Karen Stewart's article? How is the surveillance and the one on fusion centers? To have them read? I think we can do it. Actually, we can cut and paste it into. I know that Rand Paul's got a really good website here where you can cut and paste literally pages into. I know because I've done it. Where you can cut and paste pages and pages online. Let's see. I'm praying this new administration can do something. Sheep, shepherds, sheep, dogs. The judge got to do something. Let me see. It feels more like they are hunting us. Well, in some ways they are. They are predators, right? And there are certain parts of our society, the people with a lot of money, that actually do hunt people. There's a film out about it. They actually pay to. You know what? I probably shouldn't. I probably can't say it. But it's sort of like, these canned hunts, what they do with animals. They do it with people. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, a petition to shut down fusion centers and give it to Elon. Yeah. Well, draw up a petition. We could use Karen Stewart's articles, right? Um, the Hostel, the horror movie, The Hostel, is about that. I'm wondering if that's the movie that I was thinking of. I don't remember the name of it. I remember seeing the coming attractions and thinking, oh my goodness, I knew that was happening. And now they're just putting it out there. I mean, they do it with animals. They set up these, they're called canned hunts. Rich people, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But what they do is sometimes they just pick up people off the street. It's horrible. They also place advertisements. Um, there have been some young girls that have escaped that, where they responded to advertisements. They were just trying to make money to pay back their student loans, and they got caught up in that kind of thing. Um, some did not make it out, but the ones that did, like, said that they responded to an advertisement. Horrible stuff. I mean, really, it's very sick. I believe that's true, Elsie, that rich are against the poor. Well, you know, there are all kinds of people in this world. Not everybody can make as much money. Not everybody was born into money. Some of your comments are. I'm not deleting any comments, by the way, but I do see comments disappearing. I thought you guys were removing your comments. Yes, the ultra. Yes. Well, those people, they're bored. They have nothing else to do. There's nothing that excites them. And imagine, like, having everything that you could possibly want. That's the movie. That 80s movie. That one. That's it. Yep. Yeah, that's it. But there's another one. There's a one, I believe, that's after that. There's one after that, and some of the men that they were, uh, the H word, the yes, they were attractive looking men. They looked like they were, intelligent, that they had good jobs, so they were not poor. Um, I mean, it's just very sick. Press. Okay, so what does it say? Press all messages, not two messages. Otherwise, it deletes some comments. Um, what do I do? Let's see. Let's see up here. Um, um, um. I don't see that. But I just found the option for timestamps. I didn't see that before. So I just turned that on. I think that helps people find their messages later. If it's annoying, I can turn it off. But I think timestamps help people. Let's see what else is here. Um, oh, well, that's funny. Targeted people should form an LLC and create a trap for confidential informants in the form of a class action. Wouldn't that be fun? Or would it be a waste of time? I would not waste my time with that. Yeah, that's just playing a game. I would not waste my time with that. Homeless people that, yes, unfortunately they'll, I mean, I would imagine if they're homeless that they'll do these skits for money. I mean, it's horrible. Yeah, Joshua, I think that um I don't know if it's a subscription fee. I believe that in the Revenge for Hire, they're paying private security firms, and private security firms, um, they may get a flat fee, or it could be per job, it could be per hour, it could be per month. And then, of course, there's the government grants. Yeah, the ex-military, absolutely. I mean, I absolutely believe that I have military people here. There's no, I mean, they have to be very well trained, and it's not my neighbors. Yeah, they do have endless money, and I believe that that's where some of the tax cuts can be. I believe it should be with the fusion centers. First of all, we have 50 states. We have 80 plus fusion centers, and some of the fusion centers are private, meaning they're set up for private people. They're paid for privately funded. And the other thing with the fusion centers is there is no oversight. The only people who are overseeing fusion centers are the state police. Well, it's very possible, Casper. It's possible. It could be why um, they continue the FISA, the 702, Because if they shut down 702, then there's no connecting us to any foreign entity. If they cut down 702, everything stays domestically. They won't be able to funnel their money overseas or like give it, like as you say, the H-1B visas. I don't know what that is. Phoenix says, I learned a new word today, FUBAR, or FUBAR, according to military parlance, but I like the MIT version of the actual interpretation of what that means. It's a really interesting story. I don't know what a FUBAR is. Can you tell us what is a FUBAR? What's a FUBAR? The Pentagon can't find trillions of dollars, so there's that. Well, I know now four people, four women. One is a military woman, and three were married to cops, and all four of them, after they got divorced, got targeted. They got placed in the program for revenge by cops and a military guy in the army. So, I mean, is that like a private contractor thing, or is that like the government funding? I mean, there are just so many overlapping, because they share information. It's a collaborative effort. It's a collaborative infrastructure. All of their little terminologies that you'll find on all of their websites. Okay, I have to look up FUBAR. One second. I've got to look it up. Oh, wait, 1 second. I have ChatGPT up and running here. Let me just ask, what is a FUBAR or FUBAR? Let's see what this says here. The FUBAR. Okay, I'll read what a FUBAR is according to ChatGPT. The terms FUBAR, FOOBAR, and FUBAR have different origins and uses depending on the context. Here's an example of each. FUBAR, FOOBAR, is programming in tech context, meaning FUBAR is a placeholder term commonly used in programming and technical documentation. It's often used to represent variables, file names, or examples in coding tutorials when the actual value doesn't matter. Variants, foo, FOO, and bar, BAR, and baz, BAZ, are related terms often used together. Origin, likely derived from foobar, FUBAR, see below, but used more in neutral context in computing. Okay, so what it is it's a placeholder term in programming and technical documentation coding. So maybe when they create files on all the targeted people, they use a foo bar, like it's some kind of coding in their files because they can't like disclose all of our personal information because we might be able to locate these files somehow, right? So in general use, the FUBAR can also serve as a nonsensical or whimsical term in informal settings. Now the different FUBAR, FUBAR, is a military slang. Okay. It means it's an acronym for fed up beyond all recognition or fed up beyond all repair. It dates back to World War II as part of a soldier's slang. It's used to describe a chaotic or hopeless situation. Okay, here it is. Let me see. FUBAR. let's see if I'll place this in the chat here. And then it goes here. And here, used to describe a chaotic and hopeless situation. Yes, that's it. Yeah, let me see what else it says here. It says, and then the cultural usage, it says, oh, it occasionally appears in pop culture movies and informal language to describe something irreparably damaged or disastrously wrong. It says, the key difference between the FOOBAR and FUBAR is the FOOBAR is a neutral technical placeholder term, and the FUBAR is a slang with negative connotations, usually indicating something is seriously messed up. Well, we got lots of FUBAR going on here in Kentucky, right down the block. So if you're seeing it in a specific context, oh, and ChatGPT then asked me, if you're seeing it in a specific context, let me know, and I can tailor the explanation. Okay. Yes, I see FUBAR in gang stalking. Tell me about that. Oops, 1 second. I didn't get a response. Let's see. ChatGPT just stop responding. It's tired too. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to be signing off. Yes, it is so accommodating. It's so funny. Um, a lot of times when I'll ask a question, at the end, it will ask me a question if they want to tailor or give me examples or help me draw a picture or something. Yes, the voice does sound digital. Interesting. Well, thank you everybody for joining in the chat. I think I'm going to consider doing a New Year's Eve chat. I think I might consider doing that. I'll let you know in another day. Well, thank you everybody for joining in. I appreciate it. I'm going to end the live stream here. I hope everybody has a good night. And we're going to post this, and hopefully it won't get demonetized. But hope everybody's doing well, and maybe I'll see you on New Year's Eve. We'll bring in the new year together.